and I'm glad to have you over here. Got one person we got to get his audio set up, and he should be able to do that by phone because we couldn't figure out what's going on with his computer. So I don't know. Jim Lester, are you hearing me? No, I don't think so. So anyway, welcome to A-404. Now, we're still a few minutes short of the actual start time, and a few more people are showing up, as I would hope. Okay. Which Mark is this?
Mallon, Mark Mallon. Mark Mallon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't make out the last name.
Mallon, M-A-L-I-N, Steve.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right.
So
there we go. If you rotate your phone around, Mark, you can probably get a bigger picture.
okay, great.
All right, Larry's you got some background noise in there. Larry Beach, you got some background noise in there. If I mute you, I hope you know how to turn the microphone back on again.
I'm not sure.
Underneath your picture, if you put your cursor into that black area under the picture, you see a bunch of icons, one of which is a microphone on the left-hand side. And if I mute you, you click on that microphone. But you've got a lot of background coming. Area, I think.
Okay, I don't know what that would be.
Well, let me find out here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mute you. And there's no more noise. Mark is fooling with his camera.
Oh, I'm okay. Can you see it okay?
Yeah, I can see you fine, but I can hear your fingers on the camera.
Oh, okay.
No big deal. No big deal yet, but
okay.
Anyway, Larry, why don't you try to unmute yourself to see how that you know how to do that.
Jeez.
Go down under your picture. Yeah, you got it. You
Yeah.
did it. Okay. You've done it fine.
You still picking up a bunch of noise from me?
Yeah, I am. I don't know what it is.
Larry, you look like you're 35, 36.
I tried 76.
You sure don't look it. That's great.
Ain't living.
Not on my end. I'm kind of on the road right now, so.
Do a sound check. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Ellery Smith.
How you doing?
Who else? Who's asking about a sound check?
That's me, Mike Hammers.
Yeah, Mike. Okay. Got you there. So we probably have another minute or so before people show up. Before we can give up on more people showing up. Let's see. don't know how many early people we have. Let me open that up. Open.
Steve, have you talked to Donald Blue lately?
Yeah, he was here yesterday. And I would hope he comes up here today.
I think he will join us in a few minutes. I talked to him about a couple hours ago.
Okay.
Captain Beeks, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah,
Still surviving anyway.
yeah. I had tried to get up with you a few years ago.
Is that right?
Okay.
Where are you living now, Larry?
I'm in Orange Beach, Alabama, down on the Gulf Coast.
Oh, super.
Yes, a few years ago, one of my friends had gone to Vietnam, and he went through the Tongs at Cu Chi. One of the guys at the Tongs was the son of an interpreter you had recommended for a job back in '68.
Yeah, Don was telling me about that.
Yeah, he was trying to get up with you. I said, well, yeah, I sent it to, I copied that letter. The guy's name was Nugent Van Chan. What's that?
Yeah, I think I remember which one he is. He was sideways with some of the Vietnamese. He's kind of in a bad spot.
Oh, yeah. I see it was sort of interesting. This guy's a guide for the, what essentially was the North Vietnamese Army. Years later.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And how you doing now, Brother Stone?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let
Trying to recognize people.
Yeah.
me get started here. There seems to have been a break in the history of 404. And originally there was a team at Binh Hung, high end, and then that team sort of closed out. And then a bit later, about 1967, I have 404 coming into being as 404. Jim Laster was here a while ago, but he's gone. He should have been there when the camp reopened. Is there anybody else that's here from '67 that has knowledge of the camp opening or reopening?
Steve, I was at B-43 in early '68. And at that time, the camp was run by a second lieutenant named Becker and a E7 named Griffith. And when they went ahead and put a full A team in there, Dick O'Connor was the CO. He was a police officer down in Canto at C4.
At that point. Yeah, Becker looks like the time when it began to open up in about June of '68.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know that. I was just trying to confirm that the camp was actually opening up at that time. But we don't have anybody who was there at that time that can confirm it. All you guys that were there as 404.
Larry Beats.
Is that Donald Blue? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. How you doing, partner?
I'm doing good.
Hey, Blue. Yeah.
Yeah. My wife said, "You're supposed to be on your damn Zoom." And I said, "Oh, really?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "But go out on the screen then porch and do it."
How's Mary Beth doing?
She's taking care of her mom and dad are having a rough time.
Oh.
And you know, and I had tried to convince her to have them, you know, go to an assisted living facility, but there's resistance, and you know, we've cut down. I mean, this is the second summer I've spent in Texas.
Oh, really?
Because, yeah, I mean, she does not want to be more than 2 hours away. So, you know, we're just hanging in there.
Well, hope everybody does well.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, I was looking at buying a piece of property down there by you, and but they want more than $1.98 down there. They're real proud of that shit down here.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Yeah, after that last hurricane, the prices have just went crazy.
Yeah, I said, I don't need anything fancy, but damn, I'm going.
Yeah,
I
if you
better
guys
stay where I'm
wanna
at.
get away for the summer or anything, during the summer, I've got a ranch in Colorado. We're at 8,100, and we've got about probably 3/4 of a mile of river and a nice fishing pond and great trout fishing and everything else.
What part of Colorado?
The western slope of the San Juans, kind of southwest between, you know where Dolores is, or you know where Cortez is.
Yeah, we were. In fact, we stayed up at I stayed at Mesa Verde for 14 days.
Yeah, we're between Cortez and Telluride
Okay,
on the west fork of the Dolores River.
all right.
You know, we've got horses, and I got rid of most of my cattle, but I know you spent some time on your buddy's ranch and everything there, Don.
Yeah. God damn it! Is that Charlie Stone?
Yes, it is, Donald. How you doing, Blue?
I've been looking for you and looking for you. God damn it!
I haven't seen you in so many freaking years.
No, you had to go out there in that goddamn airboat and get channeled and get shot.
Yeah, I got shot there too. Yep. Seems like I'm a bullet magnet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, you remember when we were in Calhoun and my baby was supposed to be born on the 28th of June? And they sent in a message, do you have a medic expecting? And said, yeah. And we started to celebrate and found out it was your goddamn baby came early.
Yeah.
His birthday was what, the 28th of June?
Let's see. I'm 14th of March. Yeah.
No,
Mhm.
it was March?
When I don't know when I got to.
No, when your baby was born.
Oh yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yep. 28th of June. You got it.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I thought it was mine. God damn it.
I'm getting it now. I'm a little slow, but I'm getting it.
Because my daughter was born on the 4th of July.
Wow. Yep. Yep. Real close. Yep.
Is that Boxy Leach?
What's that?
Is that Boxy Leach sitting there?
I don't know.
Hey, he must be on mute.
Darrell Leach. Speak
Yeah,
up.
there's Leach. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he was a medic too.
Yeah. Because well, it was that Kai with you, right, Larry?
What's that?
Daryl, we sent you up there with the section airboats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were the one that was in the mortar pit when the mortar ram landed in there with you.
Stone, where do you live at?
I'm in Pennsylvania. Not too far out of
Brumar?
Philadelphia. Yeah.
Brumar?
Well, that's where my wife's from, Broomall. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I'm out near Coatesville, Downingtown, in that area.
Okay, because I try to get up to Pennsylvania every year to visit my parents' grave. And in fact, one of the medics from the camp lives in Philadelphia.
Wow.
One of the Indege, Cambos.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So,
If you come up here again, I'll put you up.
well, I got something to sleep in, so.
Well, we'll have to have a beer together, I guess.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
All right, I am going to share.
What are you doing there, Steve?
We lost him.
Yeah. I got a message on my screen says he's starting
Screen share, yeah.
Yeah. There he goes.
Well, we got everybody else, but we don't have Steve
Steve.
anymore. Tommy Daniels was on here for a little while.
Hey, Blue, gonna show
yeah.
you some pictures. You see those pictures?
Lift it up a little bit. Okay.
You're doing some dental work. We took care of that girl's foot.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
You know, my wife writes my name on all my shirts, so I know who the hell I am.
Yeah.
Mike Hammer?
Yes.
What the hell happened to your hair?
I get it cut that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I remember you, Blue. Were you at 402 also?
I was at 402, 401, 404, and 411.
I was at 403 from July 68 till June of 69.
Right.
And
That's when we were at Tochow, right?
no, that was a Canto.
Oh, okay. That was after Tet when we moved from Tochow to Muckwa, and then from Muckwa to Canto.
Yeah. And B40 and A-405 were at Canto also.
Yeah, right across the runway from the C team.
Yes, across the runway there. Yeah.
Okay.
And I want to tell all you guys that me and a friend of mine that was in 405, he and I went back to Nui Koto in 2011. And we spent the day out there in and around the rock pile. It's now a national park. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
December 19th of 2011, we spent the day out there at Nui Koto. And they've got a restaurant with a karaoke bar, and they've got a pond where you can rent paddle boats, and you can walk a runway up into the side of the west side of the rock pile there.
Yeah.
And it was quite a day out there.
And it's all green now, right?
Well, a lot of it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
remember how everything was gray and black from the napalm, and you can still see the black rocks from some of the heavier napalm. But there's a lot of greenery there now.
Yeah. Yeah, because 3 of the Cambos from Four-Core Mike Force, they contacted me probably about 7 years ago, and I visited. One lives in Oklahoma City, one lives in Philadelphia, one lives in Sacramento, and one of them lives in Tacoma. And I said, where in the hell is Tacoma? He says, Tacoma, Washington. I said, oh, Tacoma. He said, yeah, that's it. That's
Tacoma.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm about 50, 60 miles northwest of Tacoma, Washington.
Oh, okay. In fact, my wife and I would go up to the San Juan Islands. I love that place.
Oh yeah, I can drive 5 minutes from here and I can see the San Juans.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in a little town called Port Townsend.
Okay.
We used to go up to the San Juans every summer, up to Lopez Island, and take a DC-3 up there.
Yeah.
Oh,
And we'd skydive there for a few days.
yeah. Lopez, we used to go up there on Memorial Day weekend and
Okay.
stay at the motel there at the marina.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's that old airstrip there.
Yes.
Mr. Dunphy, you're awful quiet.
Is he on mute?
I don't know.
Dunphy.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was hard of hearing from riding in those airboats.
Yeah, okay.
You still got a full head of hair.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I got. My memory's a little shorter than my hair is right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I still have some photos we took at the villa where our Filipino tech club stayed. They had a party down there, invited us one night. My memory is getting, I can remember a lot of stuff, but my memory is getting kind of short because, I was trying to think of all the guys that was at the camp when I came. And I didn't get there until I think August of 69.
Does anybody know what happened to the rudder? You know the rudder with everybody's name on it?
Yeah, I remember that. Unspot was on there.
At one time, this is back in the 70s. That rudder was in the warehouse for the Special Forces Museum at Fort Bragg. Now, I was talking to Amalon, what was it, last year or year before last, when he called me, and I contacted the museum down there, and the folks there is ran by civilians now, and they didn't have the slightest notion of what I was talking about. But at one time, we had paraphernalia that was sent back from in country to the museum. They had about 3 warehouses with filled with stuff.
But you know what I do have? You remember the bell that we had in the bar?
Yep.
And it had all our names on it? I got the bell, and my wife did not like the dong on it, and I'm not sure where that damn dong is, but I got the bell.
I did have a photo of that rudder, but I don't know what happened to it. I think I moved too many times.
I took a picture of that rudder when Leach and I were screwing around one day, and I'll look in my photo album, and I'll see if I've got it.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff from Fayetteville went up to Fort Campbell when the 5th group moved up there.
Yeah.
So if Roxanne can't tell you about it at Fort Bragg, you can check with Fort Campbell.
Yeah.
Chapter 3.
Yeah. Because when I saw it, Williams was the curator over there. And we went through looking at stuff because they had so much. And I had tried to get it from him then, but that was they wouldn't have that.
Well, if you have a picture of it, I think that might help somebody like Roxanne figure out what you're talking about.
Yeah. But I can't find a lot of my photos over the years through house cleaning and things of that nature. A lot of stuff got thrown out.
But one of the other people might have a copy of that.
Yeah.
Look, I have a website called specialforcesphotos.com. I have specialforcesbooks.com and Special Forces Photos. On the photos, you have to go up there and sign in with your whole name. Somebody signed in today with Green Beret #1 or something, and I got to dump him. If I don't know your name, I have many bots that come up. But once your name is there, I see you, I approve you. You can post pictures by yourself without my help. You can post pictures to albums for every team in Vietnam. And then somebody else can come by. If they don't like your caption, they can write more onto the caption. I'm the 3rd guy. So you really ought to sign up for that website because it's a really good place to share your photos on.
Yeah.
Leach, how come you're being so quiet?
Mic's off.
Daryl, nobody can hear you.
I can't hear you, Daryl.
Now you muted it.
Muted.
Unmuted. Okay. You got any grandchildren around? They'll help you.
Yeah, you might need to turn the volume up.
Yeah, I went to 403. Did they ever get those Chinese outfitted with weapons and turn them loose across the border?
Say that again.
Did they ever take those Chinese or the airboats at the airboat site and arm them and let them go across the Cambodian border?
No,
I don't think so.
towards the end, they turned the airboats over to the Rock, to Koreans.
Oh, okay. Did the
Because
Koreans
towards the end, we were training, I think about 6 or 7 Koreans, how to use them. And were you there spitting when we got the Koreans in?
No, I had left.
Oh, okay.
Because remember the last month I was at Tan Tree.
Oh, that's right. But the last thing I remember before, I went back home was we were training the Koreans and they were going to turn the boats over to the Koreans.
What time period was that?
late 70s.
Okay.
I don't think they were turning them over to the Koreans for use in Vietnam, though.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they were there.
No, the Koreans were there, but they were operating out of two-core and I-core, and I don't think they had that much application for airboats up there. I think they were taking them back to Korea.
Yeah.
Well, it's possible. But
We had-
I went back in country in 72. Well, I was assigned to Nakhon Phanom, but we would go in and live at the DAO, and we would go and investigate crash sites and negotiate with the NVA to get the bodies of those that had died in captivity. And I did that till 73, December of 73, and we got ambushed outside of Saigon, and President Nixon says no more Americans could go on the ground. But we went to San Fran, all over, the crash sites and investigating, where they crash sites or where they had intel that bodies had been buried and so forth. And we did it for about 14 months, and supposedly we weren't supposed to get shot at. It was with JC.
Say again, Larry. What? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you in the back. Say again. Let me see if I can turn this off at all. Yeah. Say again.
Mark, I think he was asking Don Blue to say something again.
Okay. Who wants me to say it again?
Mark was.
Okay, what do you want me to say again?
Well, I heard you say something. I didn't get it, Don.
You're breaking up.
Okay. Okay, we'll go ahead. Yeah. When did you find? So you finally left in 73, then, right? At the end.
Oh, we were there until I think we got ambushed in December of 72. And President Nixon said no more Americans could go on the ground and search.
Whoa.
Reeves was killed December 15th of 72.
When December the 15th.
Right, that's the event.
Yeah, that was it.
Right.
Just outside of Saigon.
Okay. Somebody's got two lines open here, and you got feedback on the line. Is somebody got like I had my phone line on, and when I got my picture back again, I shut off the phone. But somebody's got this thing twice on. There's some feedback.
Well, it looks like Robert Thompson.
Thomas,
yeah. I got a public school education. I can read that goddamn well.
Mr. Smith, you said you talked to Amalong the other day, not too long ago.
It's either last year or year before last.
Amalong was on 40. Well, he was on a meeting last week.
Yeah, okay. He was he was trying to restore an airboat, and I was looking, to see if we had the rudder, down at the museum so he can get the dimensions.
Yeah. Where's he living, do you know?
Arkansas.
He's in Arkansas.
Huh? He's from St. Louis area.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Amelung and I, we trained together at Bragg, and we were together in a group of about 33 that landed in country on the 4th of July, 68. And I've got a really good picture of me and Amelung at that little village just northwest of New Ecoto that was taken in the spring. I think it was the spring of 69. And the last I heard, he was in the St. Louis area, but did you say he's in Arkansas now?
Yeah.
Yes, northern Arkansas. He has about 20 acres and he raised hunting dogs.
I'll be darned. That's one of my favorite pictures from over there is me and Bill. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys remember Sam Thompson?
Robert Thompson?
No, his name was Sam Thompson. He went to OCS, and Amelung and I were both in the States on leave. So when Thompson graduated from OCS, Amelung and I took a road trip and went down there to his graduation. And then we went up to Bragg trying to find old stags, but I think he was hiding out, so we wouldn't find him.
Old Pappy Stag.
We threatened to pour some beer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've got some pictures of Sergeant Staggs, too. Wasn't he at 402, Makwa?
No, Pappy was at 404 when I remember. In Calhoun.
And Kowloon. And Kowloon.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've got you remember the village just off the rock pile there, Antuk, with a pagoda there?
Oh, that was closer to Chilang, right?
Well, it was, Chilang was further north. But the village right off the northeast corner of the rock pile, they had a big pagoda there, and Mike Force took over the pagoda for the spring offensive in 69. And that's where I've got pictures of Clark and Amelung and Titsworth and Sergeant Brash, Captain Conley. I got a whole bunch of pictures of them. That was the spring of 69.
Yeah.
Somebody told me Titsworth passed away.
Yeah. He passed away probably about 3 years ago.
Yeah. Any of you remember Dan McKinney?
Yeah, that's who I was trying to think of, Blue Captain McKinney. He was the XO with Calhoun.
Yeah.
Was he your XO, Larry?
He passed away. Yeah, he was my XO.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
'cause I
ran
remember-
across him at Fort Benning when I was going to NCOES. He was on the mechanized infantry committee.
Yeah.
He was on Okie too.
He went back out to Helena, Montana, and he was a bail bondsman.
Yeah.
But yeah, McKinney died about 4 years ago, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
He was, when I went to 403, he was the officer, the CO, and
Right.
the last couple of months I was there, we were in the field almost 60, 70, 80 days, going to Chilang, blowing bunkers on the Vente Canal. And yeah, he was a pretty good guy.
Yeah,
Were you and
he
Amalon
was.
were you and Amalon in the same demo class?
Yes. At Bragg? Yeah, we were.
Yeah. He must have went to sleep on one class. You know what he did, right?
No.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
You
you
remember
like to blow.
he forgot how fast that cord burned,
Yep.
and he thought he could get rid of that shit before it went off. How big was that shit he had stuck in his hip? Stone, you remember?
Yeah, he got medevaced.
You goddamn right.
Yeah,
Who
he
you
blew
talking
himself up. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Who are you talking about, Don?
Amalon.
Amalon.
He was going to get rid of some old shit, and it was around pot time, and somebody come running there saying, don't see, boom. Right.
I remember that one. Yeah, I wasn't there, but I heard about it.
I looked at him, and over there, he had about a 4 by 16 piece of metal stuck in his chest.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
really, the ammo, that fuse can is really what saved his life. Because it, bit came off in big chunks.
He said, I wrapped it in that cord. I said, it wasn't long enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when Amalung and I were in the spring of '69, we were at that little
I'd sold
village.
him a Browning High
And-
Power before I left. He told me that he had it on and it
Again, it was a lot of feedback.
Oh, I was talking about Amalung in the spring of '69. He showed up with a flamethrower. Do you remember him playing with a flamethrower?
I
don't.
I can't remember what he wasn't playing with, some shit. So.
He was showing me how it worked and everything, and boy, he was just really taken with it.
Yeah.
Look, I tried to do this before and I lost the whole screen. I'm gonna try it again. Here I'm sharing a map, and that's the location I have for Kowloon. Not having been there, it seems to me it's pretty far. You got to travel up the canal to get to the river.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I guess it worked for you, so it must work.
Yeah. The camp was right there at the bridge. We could either go to the Mekong that direction or the Mekong in the opposite direction.
Yeah. We used to water ski on that canal.
Well, it was probably a good thing Sears Roebuck catalogs were around, because there are a lot of people who had water skis in Vietnam.
I can remember we came from To Chow during Tet over at the B team across from the airboat site. And they were trying to use the airboats to break a blockade over that canal. And the boats finally got back to Kowloon, and I looked, and they must have had 3 inches of blood in there. And I could remember looking at Dollar, and I said, God couldn't give me a direct order to ride in one of them motherfuckers. And turn around, and guess what? Blue, you're going to the Kowloon. I said, for what? They said, you're assigned to the airboats now.
When the B team was in Kowloon, where were they located?
Right across from the boat site.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Mag Beach compound over there.
So the boat site was on this side of the river and the B team was on that side?
No, we were
Right.
both on the same side.
Right across the street.
they were across the street.
All right, but on this side of the river where my cursor is.
No, on the opposite side.
Now,
On this side.
the B team was right there, where your cursor is now. And the province capital was just south of it, about, half a quarter.
It was just across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 44 tactical man was, I guess we could say was more east of where we were.
See, the coordinates that I got are in the middle of the river.
No.
So
No.
But where you have the A-404 camp, that's fairly accurate. And right across, that was a highway that ran down to the training center. The Army compound was right across the street.
Who's Army?
Harvard.
Army was up here.
There was a Navy Seabees attachment right across there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were next to the B team.
Wasn't the CVs down here?
They were within firing range of us because we were shooting at each other one day by mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, the CBs were there where your point is, near in that vicinity.
The other CVs were right about there.
Court,
He's here.
hey. Yeah, I've tried to call you back and you never answer your goddamn phone.
Well, you know, you call my cell phone, I'm there.
I called the
don't
number
know,
I
you're
had.
getting old, you don't know how to use your phone anymore.
That's possible.
How you doing?
I am hanging in there.
And how's Mary Beth?
It's rough, Court. She, trying to take care. In fact, she's over now giving her mother a bath.
What's
trying
that?
to take, huh?
What's that about her?
She's taking care of her mom and dad.
Oh, man.
I mean, I have a trail through our property over to their house, so we can get back and forth. Yes. And that's why we haven't been traveling much.
Well, are you going up to Colorado?
Nope.
Nope.
Mary Beth does not want to be more than 90 minutes from her mother.
It's that bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So. You remember the guy you put us both in for the Soldier's Medal, Clarence Jones? I think it was Clarence Jones.
I only put you in. I didn't put anybody else in.
No, we both went up to the C team and got it.
Not
When they
because of
did-
me.
Did you put me in for the Soldier's Medal?
Yeah.
And then you put him in as well.
I don't remember him. What'd he do?
We were out there training and they blew the damn building up. We
Yeah.
dove in, swam across the river,
Yeah.
and nobody would go into the building because it was on fire and we could hear people. We went in and we drug out, I think, 13 people, and we were going to get the last one, and the building blew up. And the reason nobody was going in, no one told us they had goddamn C4 and shit in the building.
I remember you doing all that. I don't remember a whole lot of the details, but I remember you doing that.
Yeah.
Donald Jones got the Soldier's Medal the same day. That was
Yes, we were together. Oh,
557.
Donald Jones.
But I don't
557.
remember who he was. What was his position in the camp?
He was the intel sergeant.
He was what?
The intel sergeant, Jones.
No, wait a second. There was a Jones who was a medic, another medic. And we had a Jones that was a, what the hell was he? He had something to do with supply.
He was an SFC.
Yeah,
SFC
yeah, that was the guy
Donald
went out in the
Jones.
field.
he was the intel sergeant.
He was intel. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that the guy?
yeah.
Okay. And I put him in for it.
You must
I
have
put him
both
in
of them
for-
got it.
I put him in for a Silver Star, I think, also. Silver Star? Bronze Star? Hell, I don't remember. In that last shoot 'em up. Clusterfuck.
I thought you could because we got it. That is the only medal I received in country.
And it's the only one that gives you money every month,
No.
doesn't it?
If it's equal to the Distinguished Service Cross, it has to be reviewed.
Yeah, but doesn't it give you money?
If it is approved, and the action has to be equal to that of the Distinguished Service Cross.
And it sure as hell ought to be. Didn't it get approved?
It got approved for the Soldier's Medal.
But not approved for the stipend that goes with it?
Nope.
Well, that sucks.
I'm here. That's all that matters.
Well, yeah, but you deserve it.
Yeah, Blue.
That's why I got 2 hearing aids. That goddamn C4 fucked up my
Yeah, I
hearing.
got 2 of them. I got multiple pairs of glasses.
So Larry, you getting the
I
boat
can
out
hear, I
much?
can see sometimes.
Are you able to get the boat out, Larry?
What's that?
Have you been able to get the boat out?
Actually, I sold the boat.
What?
No. I sold my boat.
Okay.
I see Robert Thomas is trying to get on.
Yeah. Yeah, the boat got to be too much work.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Big
keep looking at
backbone.
this goddamn 14 acres, and every time I complain, my wife said, well, you wanted to get 56.
Gotta get your head examined.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy it because I can walk out and feed the deer naked and nobody will see me. But my wife told me I'm not impressing the does any, so.
Stone, do you ever have any contact with Tweet?
Yeah,
No.
a little bit. So he's passed away now. I guess you know
Oh,
that.
no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, Darren Tweet. Yep, certainly remember that day.
Yeah.
Yep,
John.
He was tore up pretty bad.
Mr. Dunphy.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Dunphy. When were you at the camp? John Dunphy.
Yeah,
When were you at the camp?
I was there when O'Connor was captain.
When he was a captain?
Yeah, L-16.
No, he wasn't. He was a lieutenant when I was there.
There were 2 O'Connors, Richard and John.
Yeah.
Both of them commanded that camp.
Well, John was, are you sure you're not talking about John Connolly?
No, John
Pat,
O'Connor.
Pat Conley was the XO.
It was Captain O'Connor, El Supremo.
Yeah,
Okay, what year are you talking?
I replaced.
What, it would have been 68, late 68?
Okay.
868.
Yeah,
That was before me.
Connolly was in 70. But John
Yeah.
O'Connor was in 68, 69, and Richard O'Connor followed him in 69. Both of them were lieutenants at the time. Both
Okay.
of them I've had contact with. John didn't seem to be terribly interested, and Richard, I have to be here.
Okay.
That's John O'Connor.
is Richard still alive?
Both of them are still alive.
And Randy, when were you there?
Yeah, El Supremo, there, that Captain O'Connor, he left probably, I've been there a couple, 3 months, he left. He was an ordnance officer.
He
That's strange.
he left in right. He left in May of 1969 because that's when I took over.
Yeah.
And then how long were you there, Larry?
I was there till April of 70. 1st of April of 70.
No. April of 70.
Now, I don't know if it was
It
from
was about the
camp
same
or it was
time I
from
got
somebody
there.
else, but Richard O'Connor was on an operation on the Swift boats, and that's the operation
Yes.
Kerry got his third Purple Heart on, and I had a discussion with him about that. I
That
don't
is correct.
know if it was from 404 or from another assignment, but it was a Mike Force assignment. They went into a village. Rassman was his XO, and I don't remember who the medic was, but they went into this village from the Swift boats. They found a rice cache, and O'Connor told Rassman to get rid of the rice cache. So Rassman thinks about it for a few minutes, and when O'Connor's gone, he tosses a grenade into the rice cache. Terry, Rassman, and the medic run like hell. They all got plastered in the butt with rice pellets. O'Connor says he went back to the Swift boat, and he's got Terry on the phone calling for medevac. So he asked Terry, who is one of my men wounded? What's going on? No, don't worry about it. I think it was me that's wounded. And Terry, and he said, well, I'll have my medic check you out. He said, no big deal. So the medevac was canceled. A few hours later, the Swift boat another Swift boat gets hit with a mine, and Kerry is claiming a wound, but the only wound he had that day was from the rice pellets.
After, when they got back, that was Operation Sea Lord with the Navy.
Yeah.
When they got back, the demo man, Cochran, I think it's Cochran, he was so mad when he saw what was going on down there. He wouldn't even talk.
Well, I pointed out to O'Connor that I had Purple Heart orders for Rassman and the medic for that day. And Rassman, as the commander, had no knowledge of that Purple Heart being requested. So it looks like the two of them went off to the C team and put in for the Purple Hearts for each other. And nobody knew about it until 2004.
After they got back, I and Boxy Leach and Sergeant Trent went back to Operation Sea Lord and ran those off the Swift boats. And that was when Rassman had got reassigned, or Rassman left the boat site, but Kerry got reassigned to a little safer job because that was a bad area.
Well,
Was that Pete, Trent?
Say again,
Was that Pete, Trent?
the medic?
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to find out here. Okay. 3/14/69. Okay. That was from 404. And it was
Steve.
3/19/69. So
Gee. Is Robert Thomas on here?
yes,
Well, Robert, where are you? I don't see you.
He's hiding in the grass, is what it looks like.
Well, that's nothing unusual.
And
Robert, how the hell are you? Robert Thomas. Calling Robert Thomas. Come in, Robert Thomas. Done. Got the same problem with him now that we had back then.
yeah, he seems to be out there, but he's not. His microphone is shown as on, but he's not.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm gonna miss him because I gotta get off.
Okay.
have you guys had any contact with Stinson or Leach?
With who?
Simpson has passed away. Ronald Simpson?
Yes.
Ronald Simpson passed away.
What about Mark Stinson?
Mark lives up in Michigan.
How about Leach?
Leach is here.
Okay.
What up, Mark? Mark lives up.
Yeah, out of Vinchai.
Hey,
Yeah,
Cork, when
good
did you come aboard?
The medic was a guy named James Fields.
What was that?
The medic that was with Rasmus was James Fields.
Somebody asked me a question, Bobby. Damn.
Yeah, Cork, this is Stone. When did you show up at A-404? I can't remember.
I think it was in March, April of 1970.
Okay, yeah. That makes
I got
sense. I
caught
think
up
that's,
a little bit.
Y'all both got there at the same time, I think, if I
and
remember correctly.
what's that, Blue?
I think both of you came pretty close to the same time.
Yeah, I was in the hospital in January, probably through February. So I probably did get there about March. Yep.
Yeah.
And you got yourself hit in the head.
Shoulder.
At A-403, I got hit by a command detonated mine there, broke my jaw. And so they wired me shut, and I did surgery with a captain in there. I was his assistant at Cantel Hospital for a while. And then I was sent to the airboats when I recovered. So that was in probably late February, early March, somewhere in there.
And then what was it, in September that you got hit again?
It was August the 8th. Yeah.
Yeah, August the 8th.
Yeah.
Well, just the best thing that ever happened to you was coming to the airboats.
It was fun. You know,
We thought it was just going to be a picnic bringing those boats back.
yeah.
Now you had to listen to that goddamn Captain Denario.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wanted the flag.
Yeah, I was popping flares to him when we got hit. He was in a bird dog coming over.
Yeah.
Were you aiming?
Not bad. You know, it took out my 11th cranial nerve, so I'm partially paralyzed in the right shoulder. I get by. It's fine.
When you were popping flares, were you aiming?
He was talking to me, and I thought I knew the azimuth he was coming in on. He told me, and I was looking that direction, was the opposite from the bunker that we got hit from. So, but he did see the flares. He got on deck pretty quick.
Yeah, it was a scary night.
Yeah, that was a real one at that time. Yeah.
Jim Laster, were you able to hear us now?
Yes, I am. I'm on an iPad.
Okay, good. And we hear you too. That's good. You apparently beat everybody there to the place. You had been hung before they moved up to Carolina. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was at high.
High
Yeah,
end.
I was there.
Yeah. So you're a whole early history of the camp, and you're the only representative here to say anything about it. Tell me what you remember.
Well, I got there in December of '66, and it was a Father Was camp, and we had nuns that were our force. We had 2 companies of them, and we used them to patrol in and around that camp, hit a couple of contacts from time to time. Never was camp never was attacked while I was there. We were able to keep them away, I guess.
So you were there before Captain Harrington.
I replaced Wayne Harrington. Did anybody remember
Yeah.
him?
Yes, he was a captain when I was there. And then after he got wounded, Jackson got captured and
Right. Well, hey man, you're right there with me. That's when I took over right behind Wayne. And Jackson got captured.
yeah, right. And I was Jackson's replacement.
You were Jackson's replacement?
Right, because Jackson got captured. Cushion got hepatitis and was medevac, and they got a guy from Don Spook, Whitner, and he had stepped on a punching stake, and I went in, and then it was myself and John Dryden were the medics.
Are you a medic?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
medic.
I stayed in the hospital, down at the hospital close to the canal. And then later on, we got another medic, and Dryden stayed down there, and I moved up to the team house that was over the center of the canal.
That's
Went
right.
straight to the
That's
camp.
right. Yeah. Well,
And we had a recon platoon, Mr. Nip. You remember Mr. Nip?
you know who I remember is Eversole. Did you remember Eversole?
Yeah, Bill Eversole.
You damn right.
I have a picture of, in fact, I had just gotten back from the hospital on South Train, and everybody was on the runway, and I thought everybody was happy to see me that I got out of the hospital, and they were lining up to take a picture.
Yeah. Well, we were there.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Steve,
Yes.
what year did I get my Purple Heart? In '66? I mean, what day, what month?
How about 5/9/67?
Okay, '67. That's when I got out of the hospital from South Train and going back to the camp.
Are you Sergeant Blue?
Yeah, Don Blue.
Well, damn it. Yes, we were there together. You had that deal that down there taking care of those people in that little hospital.
Right.
You know, and you did a hell of a job, I tell you, while you were there. While I was there, you did. So you stayed after I left. I left in July of '67.
Yeah, the last time I was in Vietnam on an A-team was in '70.
Yeah, I never went back.
No, I was in '66, '67, '68, '69, and '70.
Man, you had a long stay. Well, it's good to see you.
I had a public school education. That's the only thing I could do.
Wow,
Oh,
wow,
Blue.
my gosh. Yeah. Hey, let me tell you a story about Sergeant Jackson. You know, he got out, and he he came through, I think, Thailand, and he got back and recovered. My wife is an operating room nurse, and she was at a hospital in Leavenworth in the operating room, and he came in with a doctor, assisting a doctor, and she said her name was Laster. And he says, "Do you know Captain Laster?" And she said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, I'm Sergeant Jackson." And he met my wife. And I went to see him afterwards, and it was really an amazing thing that here he was in the same hospital she was, and they got to meet.
He's a PA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, I was down in the hospital. You were there when we had that cholera outbreak.
Well, I don't remember that so much, but I do remember one thing, that we wind up firing a company one time because they disobeyed an order, and when we were going to do an amphibious operation, and we thought that somebody going to kill me before I got out of there.
Yeah. You remember John Seymour, Lieutenant?
Yes. I cut his hair. He had the damnedest hair in the world to cut. Wow.
Yeah, because John and I came from Travis into Saigon together. And then we went out to the train. I didn't see him. And then I got to the camp. And that's when we hooked back up.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to think of who was the operations sergeant there. Bernard was one of the weapons guys, Sergeant Bernard, E7.
Yeah, Menard.
Yeah, sure was. That's our team.
And Aaron Melvin. Clarence Jones was a team sergeant there for a while, and then he went to Don Pook. And then we got Eversole. And we had a leg that was the PSYOPs guy. I'm trying to think.
Yes, he did. They sent us some lieutenant down there that from all the province headquarters, and he was with us for a while. Yeah, from Kamau.
Yeah.
Guys, I gotta run. Take care. Good talking to you.
Hey, Court.
So, in fact, I probably have a picture of you in what's those tigers, not the brown ones. What was those damn things called?
I don't know. We wore whatever was around. I know that.
Because you, myself, Aaron, G. Melvin, and Bill Eversole, we were heading out on an operation together.
Yeah. Well, we did good,
That was a long time ago.
You remember the snake we had there in the camp?
Chiquita, I have a picture of her. Yeah.
Yeah, that snake, the name was Useless,
And we had the monkey that was tied to the side of the team house.
Yeah, that was before me. You had the damn monkeys before I got there. And after I got there, we wind up giving me a snake. Those Chinese did. They were big about giving gifts.
Yeah.
So they gave a monkey to the previous camp commander, and then they gave me a snake, a python.
Yeah.
You were mentioning some boat operations out of High-End. Was that
Yeah.
precursor to what you were doing, what this team was doing at 404, or this?
No,
Different?
what we did was the camp was between the Human Forest and the Nomcom Forest. And someone came up with this brilliant idea that we would sweep from the camp all the way through the Nomcom Forest to the ocean. And then the boats come in, they only drew 4 feet of water or something. But nobody thought that all them goddamn Chinese were only 4'3" or 4'4". And so we had to get bamboos, and the Americans held up the damn bamboo and waited out with the troops to put them on the goddamn boats to get us back up to the river to bring us into the camp.
Well, here's the camp, and I guess this was the path to the ocean out here.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's right. That's right. Now we took the swift boats. We got the swift boats and some jumps. And we were going to do an amphibious operation down in the lower forest area. Went down there.
Non-com forest.
Yeah, and got down there, and that night, it was a night operation, and we started picking up some stuff, and well, later on found out it was fish traps, not other boats, and come back and canceled and started to go back the next day and wind up actually canceling that operation, but we had a hell of a time.
Yep. And we had the Navy with 80 guns. Was supposed to be the covering fire. We got in deep shit.
Well, I'll tell you, Sergeant Blue, something that I'll never forget you did for me was I had, we were in that swamp all the time, and
Right.
my feet got submerged. And so I got an infection in it. I went down to where you were there in that little hospital. You gave me a shot of penicillin. I was walking the berm and I came back and I got whips all broke out over me. And so I was having a reaction to that penicillin. You came up and gave me a shot of something or another and got rid of the reaction to the penicillin, but I've never taken penicillin. So I don't take any more penicillin.
Yeah.
Father
See, I
Walker,
didn't have
a legendary person.
to keep me straight.
Do you have any comments on the sea swallows?
Well,
What's that?
They belong to Father Wah. I mean, that's where he got the name, but we actually controlled them. And Father Wah came down a couple of times while I was there, so I got to meet him. But he didn't have anything to say about it. The U.S. Special Forces was in control, and we just told them what to do, and they're the ones followed. And we also recruited some people too for that camp.
Yeah, I see Thomas asked a question on the chat. Remember Raymond, we got Rawls, Raymond Rawls?
Yeah. The last time I saw Ray was is it the Binh Canal? And he got shot. It was midnight was the ceasefire. We decided we just go ahead and put our ambush out until midnight and then pull it back in. And that was the night he got shot. And we had to go out there and pick him up.
What did anybody get a hold of Wayne Harrington for this Zoom call?
No, the only person that I know that knew him was John Seymour, and John lives down the road from Larry Beats. In fact, when we were over at Gulf Shores, the three of us had dinner. But he had said that, where's the Command and Staff College?
Leavenworth.
Leavenworth, okay. He had seen him there, and then he went from there to the Pentagon.
Yeah.
I talked to him on August 24th. He gave me an email, and he's on the list of the emails for 404.
Okay, well,
Right.
I'll try to get that and get a hold of him. As I told you, Sherman, that he was in my wedding ceremony. I'm still married to that same gal, and he was one of the guys with the swords there at Fort Bragg. We got married at the Special Forces Chapel there on Smoke Bomb Hill in December of 1965, before I went to Vietnam.
Okay.
Robert Thomas, are you in voice contact with us now? Robert Thomas? Guess not yet. Well, while we got a lull over here, let me put in a plug. I don't know how many of you remember the Green Beret magazines. They started in '66 and continued in 1970, pretty much monthly. there were 52 magazines altogether that were published, and I put them together into a 5-volume set that's fully indexed with all the proper names that are there to find out where everything is. It's kind of like having a yearbook, and it's available on my website if you haven't got it already. So you might want to think about that. I don't know how many more copies I've got in the warehouse, but they're not that many.
Yeah. Well, you know, in the last year or so, some of you guys probably remember our medic, junior medic Emerson.
Yep, I remember Emerson. Yep.
Yeah, he passed a year or so, a couple years ago.
Mm.
And you always talking about Jackson, that was the POW.
Yeah.
Right.
They buried him earlier this year.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he's buried
he
in
and his wife.
Arlington.
He passed. He was going to be buried. They're both buried in Arlington, and his wife passed a few months after he did. So they interred them both at the same time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I contacted him at one point, and he really had not been in contact with the SF community.
Yeah.
And his wife really pushed him, and I ended up seeing him the next year at the SFA convention.
Yeah.
She pushed him to come up there. You know.
Yeah, and then the team sergeant that Blue and I had, the last one we had, well, they had someone after him, Harnett. He passed about 4 years ago, Blue.
Yeah, when we all went to dinner.
Yeah.
Sergeant Blue, where do you live now?
I live just north of San Antonio, halfway between San Antonio and Austin, up what they call the hill country.
Yeah.
Canyon Lake.
Yeah, no. Well, I had a daughter who went to school there at University of Texas, so I went down a couple of times and saw her there in Austin.
Yeah.
When did she go to, my oldest daughter graduated from UT in 89.
She got her PhD there in about 2006.
Okay.
So, Blue, how many kids you got?
I have 4, 2 boys and 2 girls, and they all graduated from college in Texas. One from UT, one from TCU, one from Baylor, and one from Houston.
How many grandkids you got?
8. 5 boys, 3 girls, and 1 great granddaughter.
Oh my gosh, you caught up with me. I'm 9. 9 grandkids.
I'm a good Catholic. We're good Catholics.
Yes, you are. Good job.
Yeah.
Damn, Blue, you must be old.
On the
like my grandson asked me, said, "Papa, what was it like in World War II?" I have no idea.
On the email that I sent you, there's a lot of other emails, most of which I've checked out, or almost all of which I checked out. I haven't got any returns on them. And you know, you're about less than a third of you are here.
Yeah.
Because there was pretty close to 30 people on the email list. Now, maybe it wasn't 30, maybe it was less for 404. But, you know, after this is over, I got 2 more camps in 4 Corps to do, and I finished it to going all the camps in Vietnam.
Yeah.
So you guys, if you want to continue it, you got the emails on my email list for this camp, and you can use it, contact individuals or contact the group. And if you go to Zoom, you can get 40 minutes for free of hosting your own meeting. It's not hard to do. So I hope that you'll follow up on this and keep at it. I had a lot of people on the list. Chaplinsky, Gary Luck, people who were there at Binh Hung. And on even on that first team with Chaplinsky, there's a guy named Almond who was on that team. He lives south of San Antonio. Chaplinsky lives in San Antonio, and he doesn't know that Almond's still alive. And then there was one other guy from that very first team that was at Binh Hung. So I was sort of disappointed that we didn't get more of a group here.
Yeah.
But you got here as good information, a very good history that I'm recording, and we'll ultimately have it up on the website. Your grandkids and great grandkids to see.
Yeah. I attempted to reach out to George Williams. He was with the airboats down in the Delta. I was talking to Blue earlier to try to figure out when, because I think he came to the airboat from the island.
He's a golfer, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a golfer. He lives down in Spring Lake, North Carolina.
Yeah, his email
CPA.
something like, golfing forever or whatever.
Yeah, he's a retired aviator.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Blue, do you remember Big Fee and Little Fee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Big Fee.
And sweet motherfucker, you remember him?
Yeah. Well, Big Fee came, he got in the tiger cages and stuff like that, and he eventually got out of Vietnam, and I sponsored him, and he came over here and he lived with me for quite a while, and then he went to California. He got a computer science degree and got his family over here and the whole 9 yards. So he made it. Little Fee died from some disease over in Vietnam. I forget what it was.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm going to sign off. You guys are amazing. And I'd like to stay in touch with you, Don, and you, Larry, and then Cork and everything. And I spent most of my time out of Vinte, on the Vinte out of Binjai.
Canal, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out of Binjai too. But, so when were you there?
69, 70, end of
Okay.
69, beginning of 70.
Yep, I was probably there just after you, probably in March, April, somewhere in there.
That's about
That was
when I
quite
left.
some place, yeah.
So anyhow, God bless all you guys, and you're amazing, and all the best to you.
Thanks for showing up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So long.
Charlie. Steve.
Yes.
Stone.
Yeah.
Give me your phone number real quick.
Okay. 484
484
354
354
9223.
9223.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna, text you and give you my information, but
Good.
I'm gonna be up visiting my parents, grave in Pittsburgh, and we'll get together. And the medic that worked for us at Calon lives in Philadelphia.
Okay,
And,
cool.
the three of us will get together.
Somehow that would be great.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is a ching ching sadui. We'll be there in the spring.
Okay. Yep.
All right, good.
Yeah, great. That would be great. Great to
All
see
right.
you.
It would be good to see you. You've been in my thoughts for many years.
Yeah, and you too. I keep looking at the pictures in here, Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Blue and I had talked, he informed me of some things about, when you was wounded, and I advised him of some things that happened after you got wounded.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Darren lived for quite a while, but he was so tore up that eventually the wheelchair and that whole life just got his body, and he just couldn't make it anymore. But his sister would text me every once in a while. She would keep me up to date with what was going on.
Yeah, I know when we got the medivac, we was trying to get a medivac to come in, but there was a chopper that was heading back to Canton that, we put you all on.
Oh yeah.
And the poor little Spec 4, asked if he knew anything about first aid. His eyes got real big.
I remember tying him off, trying to stop the bleeding and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And then we lost Lon, but he was, he had a gut wound, so
yeah.
he was pretty functional, but eventually the bacteria and stuff got him.
Yeah.
Well, it's just one of many, many, many. So
Yeah.
all the guys went through a lot.
404 was in Kowloon, right?
Yeah.
Right.
404 initially was high-end, then hung.
Yeah.
Then it became 411, and Calon became 404. And the dates I can't remember, but I know that, I could look at some of the old, I think when I made E6, it was like 404. And when I left to go to Tochow, it became 411, and then I think they changed it over to RFPL.
Well, the original team came in, that was 412 and then 411 at Ben Hung.
Yeah.
There looks like there was a period of time at the first part of 1968 where neither camp was operational.
Right.
But then 404 arose in Kowloon, and that there was no more camp at high end. So as far as I'm concerned, that was a transition from one to the other.
Well, it was political because, Father Wah was Chinese and the Vietnamese, didn't want him to become too powerful. And so it was an unusual situation as far as I could remember, unless,
we have a lot of unusual situations in special forces.
Yeah.
Say the least.
And you remember Father Wah's German Shepherds?
No, I don't remember that.
Remember he had 2 German Shepherds because the chapel was right across from the team house.
Right, it sure was. Yep.
Yeah. And he had those 2 German Shepherds.
Like I say, he came there, I think, a couple of times, but the camp was 411 when I was there from 66 until July of 67. It was all 411. And so, I know that they changed numbers and around after that, but, and I, like you said, when they closed it, I'm not sure who followed me. I'm not sure. I followed Wayne, but I'm not sure who followed me.
And I'm fuzzy about it because I went from there to Tochow, and that's when they had the Mobile Guerrilla Company. And then we had 402 and 403, because we were together there, right, Randy? Kasani.
Yeah. Yeah, 402, 403 at Tochow.
Yeah. And then after Tet, that's when we went up to Muckwa, and 402 stayed at Muckwa?
Yeah, 402 with the Muckwa, 403 with the Canto.
Canto, yeah. Because we stayed at that old school, old abandoned church at the end of the runway until the A-team left there, and then we went up, took over the camp, and then they further split us up.
But you didn't stay there long, did you?
Huh?
You didn't stay there long.
No, I went up to B40, and then I went to Don Food.
Okay. But I remember you when we inventoried Campbell's stuff when he got shot up.
Yeah.
I remember you were in the room with us because we dumped his rucksack and it had bullets in it. AK-47.
Yeah. He had gotten hit 6 times, and he had 37 rounds in his rucksack.
Yeah. Well, I always thought he was shot 13 times, but I talked to him. He said, no, Randy, it was 11 times. You were probably counting exit wounds. He's alive and well in the Philippines.
Wow.
And then, what's that? The young kid, Scott, got killed over by Hachien.
Scott.
David, was it David?
Dave
Scott.
Yeah.
Well, I think I told you his fiance, she's married now with grandkids, but she saw my name on a special forces site and it said 402. So she emailed me and asked me if I knew Scott. And I said, yes, I know him. Or I knew him, he's dead. And she said, I have 57 letters that he wrote me while he was in Vietnam. And I'm thinking of putting them together like in a book, letters from Vietnam. So she sent the letters to me. She asked if I'd read them. And I said, okay, to make sure there's nothing classified or too much BS. There was a little BS, but she said to me, I read them all. I sent them back, made notes, and she's working on it. She's going to put in a book form with some narrative, but all the letters, 57 of them. Yeah, she calls me about once every 6 or 7 months. But you said you saw Scott's body.
Yes, because I got in the Jeep and went down, because they went across the ferry to the meeting. And I touched him, he felt warm, and I checked the carotid, and then there was nothing there. And then when I lifted up the shirt, he took one right through the liver. And there was not a lot of blood, it was mostly internal. And we're just basically just calling to pick up the body.
Well, I came across, there's a site on the internet, it's got a man's name. He writes all about guys that died in Vietnam.
Right.
Steve might know the name. But anyway, I read on there he died in a training accident.
Yes.
And I questioned that. And he says, well, that's what it has. But what we figured out was because it was not a Mike Force guerrilla force operation, he had latched himself onto a MACV company, I think, and given support with a 60 mortar and a 57. So he got himself killed. And since it was not a special forces operation, they said training. But I sent them a copy of the Silver Star because his fiance sent it to me. And they changed it to a ground action.
You're talking about Reg Manning?
Huh?
You're talking about Reginald Manning, and his list of SFKIAs?
His name is Dave. Oh,
no.
Site that I saw it on?
Yeah.
It's
Reg Manning. Reginald Manning.
Oh, no, not Manning. This is the guy that does narratives on all the kills. If I hear the name, I'll remember it. It's like his name and middle name and last name. He passed away, but his people kept it up. It lists all the KIAs of Vietnam and with a narrative. In fact, I helped him correct. After I corrected Scott, I corrected John Lopez that went down in Tucor on that airplane.
Yep.
Right.
I found that body and I corrected Gribbin. He had Gribbin all wrong. James Gribbin, he had that all wrong.
Yeah, Davis?
Huh?
Remember Davis? Clifton Davis?
Well, I talked to you about him. I went to training group with him.
Yeah.
I had to identify his body because we were on stand down and they called into the camp. Does anybody know Davis? Because he was all smeared. He had a lot of like mud and dirt on his face. Plus he was a black guy and they wanted to make sure that he was not a Cambode.
Because, when he was killed, they lost 85 individuals in 9 minutes.
Wow.
He was I got medevac, and before the chopper went off, I said, hold it, and they said, no, we're sending in another medic. And I said, okay. I asked the medic, and they waited till he get in so I could give him a briefing. And I told him that it was a brand new company, and I just didn't feel right. We worked the area before, just stay here. This is a real good superior place you can defend, and just send out, ambushes. And the chopper took off at 10 o'clock in the morning. And before I could get to the hospital, they walked into a 2-click long L ambush in 85 minutes. Remember Shotgun 22, Greg Barlow? He was flying covey for him. And I saw him in Washington State and he wanted to talk to me, and I said, okay. And he wanted to talk about that operation. And I said, when it clicked off, he said, oh my God. He said, how did you know? And I said, Gilbert told me because they were listening to it on the radio. And Davis, in fact, when I got back out of the hospital to the camp, all the Cambos ran away because they had heard that the black boxy is dead. And I stepped off the chopper, and everybody in the village ran away because they thought I was a ghost. And then they realized that it was Davis instead of me.
Well, Davis was my roommate in training group. So I said, yeah, I know Davis. So the helicopter landed at Muckwa. They just wanted a positive ID. So I unzipped the body bag in his face, it was dirty and all, but I could tell it was him,
Yeah.
But
It was about 6 miles east of Kai.
Metallic was on that operation, right?
Metallic got shot through the leg and crawled under the brush and played dead. And Gilbert, George Lapp, and them picked him up, and they got the bodies. 85 people.
Wow.
Hey, guys, I've got to run because I've got to go to a volleyball game for a granddaughter. And but it's awfully good to see you, especially Sergeant Blue. Dang, you're looking good there. That Texas weather must be treating you nice.
Not bad for 89 trips around the sun. God damn.
Yeah, but good to see all of you. And,
okay.
Best of luck to you. Stay healthy, will you? That's a big thing for all of us. Stay healthy.
I'll do my best.
All right. Goodbye.
Adios.
Yeah.
Let me ask this question. I wasn't on 404. I was on 402 and 403. But on an Eagle flight, they pulled us back, the platoon back, and they landed us in Kowloon. And a big black major came out because the helicopters went back to pick up the other platoon to take them to Muckwa, then come back and get us. And it was questioned whether we were going to stay in Kowloon for the night. But it was a big black major. Was he on 404 or was he on the B team there? I don't know.
The major is probably the B team.
Yeah.
You're probably major.
How about Holland Bynum?
Oh, I don't know that name. Oh, I didn't know the guy's name. But
Holland Bynum was the commander of B-40 for a small period of time. Then he went up to Delta. He lives here in Houston.
Well, he drove out to us in a Jeep. We were on the edge of town. We landed in an old RFPF fort. And he came out in the Jeep to coordinate with, but he had the big radio on the Jeep. And the question was whether we were going to stay there that night. And he was coordinating for us. And finally he told us, no, they're going to come back and get you. But I just remember he was a big, burly guy. But I don't even know if we landed it how long, but for some reason I think we did.
There's a helicopter pad that was right next to the B team.
Okay, there was like a road, because I could see the lights in the background. There was a road coming out, and it ended like a little place we stayed in Muckwa, the RFPF camp at the end of the runway.
Right.
It was similar to that. It had a berm though. I mean, it was vacated, there was no one there, but it had a berm. And I think 1 or 2, 3 bunkers. But the question was, whether we were going to stay there that night or get lifted back to Muckwa. But I always wondered where we were because we didn't have maps. Legal flights, they didn't give us a map. They just said, you're going over here and go there. Well, I don't remember working with a map. I know the Eagle flights went from Muckwa, then Don Foot took them over. But I don't know who else might have taken them over. And I don't really remember working with a map. It was the very first one where Campbell got wounded. It was the very first Eagle flight.
Oh, when we were working for Malombre, he was in charge of that shit for the 44th Tactical Zone?
Yeah, Malombre.
Malombre, yeah. Yeah, because it was Eagle flights and Delta flights, yeah. Delta flights, yeah.
I was out with Nutella one time, Oh, big. I was out with him and we found a cache and it was very large. And we called it in. I mean, everybody got, the C team came out, NBC came out, you know, news agencies. So we're sitting on the ground there around the thing, and Malombre came on. When he's up in the helicopter and giving orders and everything, and Newt Tiller says on the radio, who's running this gang fuck? Malombre said, who said that? Who said that?
Yeah, old Mel, you remember he used to say, stick with me, stud, and I'll get you a silver star.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
Jurassic.
Jurassic, that's it.
I was going to say Marichek, but not Marichek. Yeah, Jurassic. Yeah. But he was like Marichek, I think. The same type of guy. Just loud and anyway.
He was a little bit bigger than Marichek.
Ended up as the brigade commander in the 9th Division, I think.
Yeah. Yep. But we're all been very lucky.
Yes.
Okay, I need to go and check on my wife and see if she needs some help. But Stone, I'm gonna call you so we can exchange information. And I want to talk to you because you have been on my mind for about 50-something years.
Same here. Look forward to you calling.
And I know your daughter's birthday because I thought it was mine.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, everyone be safe and God bless.
Yep. Good seeing you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and sign off too. But it's good seeing you guys, and Stone. I'm glad you survived. You know, but Blue and I talk, quite often. But tell me, Captain B, how long ago did Pappy Clark pass?
I don't know.
No.
Yeah. And is Ed Trent still alive?
I think he is, but I wasn't able to find him. The people who knew where they were, didn't get back to me. Who's the other person you asked me about, Ellery?
Pappy Clark.
Clark?
His name is Clifford Clark.
Yeah, Clifford Clark.
No, he's gone.
Yeah.
He was our team sergeant at Muckwa for like
Yeah. And see some of the other guys we had Walker, we had Carpenter, Emerson, not Kahuna Caney.
You had McKay too, didn't you? James McKay.
I'm just trying to think because a lot of those names, I know one of the Como guys, he came to us from Delta. He lived down in Florida.
There was Conway.
His name started with a K, Kahuna Caney or something like that.
Yeah.
He was Hawaiian.
Oh, Hayakawa.
Hayakawa. Yeah, Hayakawa. Yeah, Hayakawa.
Hacky.
Yeah. Yeah, so he lived in Florida.
Talked to him on
Steve
the radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only one I knew was Lieutenant Becker, Becker, Becker.
Yeah.
Huh?
Becker was at the airboat site in early 68 and probably late 67. He and Griffith, Sergeant Griffith, were the two Americans there at the time. And they didn't really run the airboats that much. They just trained the Nungs on them. And then they shipped them out to all the A-teams along the border during the wet season.
Yeah.
Becker was the second lieutenant.
Yeah, he got a field commission.
Yeah, exactly. I ran into him back at Bragg. He was a sergeant first class. He's been rifted.
Yeah.
In around 73, I think. Anyway,
Yeah.
we were on the field. We got shot up pretty bad. I was the only enlisted man. And I was, well, there was one other guy. And Marichek, whoever had the bike force, get Becca out to us to take us back in. And that's, you know, when I met him and talked to him a little bit, and he, you know, I knew he was an excellent listener, but he came and sort of took charge of the company, brought us back in. But anyway, I ran into him around 73 at Bragg, maybe 71, 72, and he was a sergeant first class.
Yeah.
Yes, because Lieutenant Connolly, that was the XO with, he got rifted, and I saw him back at Bragg, because I retired at Bragg back in '81.
That 1973 got a lot of it because I got rifted out. Pittsworth, and I don't know if any of you remember Leo Lynch. He was at one of the A teams out of Canto.
Yeah.
And he was also at Kaikai. He and I were at Kaikai the year before.
Right.
So we all got out of the Army the same day.
Yeah. Yeah, they had, unfortunately, I don't know, you know, what went on, but we lost a lot of good officers that were rifted for some, I don't know what, but we did have one success. We had I think he was at Dunn Folk. He got rifted, and he was the first sergeant major that I really saw. He came in to work that morning. He was wearing his staff sergeant stripes, and he got called up to the center. The general pinned his oak leaf clusters. So he had his oak leaf on, and you know, his sergeant stripes was on his sleeves. I said, "Hey, you're the first sergeant major I've ever seen." Yeah, but you know, they had you know, a lot of that stuff going on back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, I kept up. You know, Blue and I kept in contact over probably the last 10 or 15 years. You know,
Wow.
but some of the other guys, you know, you used to ask questions about it. He knew more people because they exchanged Christmas cards. You know.
Yeah.
And at one time, I was exchanging about almost 200 Christmas cards with people from the military and you know, civilian life and my past customs and stuff. And I just told them when stamps started going up, it just got too expensive to exchange these Christmas cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I talk to Blue every now and then too.
Yeah.
Because he'd stayed there so long that he knew everybody.
Well, see, Blue was actually a legend.
Yeah.
And you know, he didn't mention it. He don't mention about it. But for a short period of time, someone came out with this bright idea to assign LLDB to 404. It didn't last very long. But one of the folks that they sent there, I think Blue had been at Dunn Folk, and this guy, he was a LLDB NCO, and he had been accused of taking kickbacks. And he actually thought he could recruit somebody at our camp to assassinate Blue.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And, you know, the troops came and told Blue about it. And I say, by the time the word got to Canto, they had a chopper down picking up jokers up. They didn't stay at the camp very long.
Yeah.
You know. And I say, I think that was during the period of time that we were preparing to start closing down. Because I actually left Caroline and I went to Pan Tree to close it out. And they had, he had been an XO at 402 at Muckwa. He had made Captain Smith. He and I went to Tan Tree to close it out. And I think both of us left before they actually closed it out because they converted it to a Army Ranger camp.
Mm. Yeah.
And we had released all of our cam boats that went back into Cambodia, started Free Cambodian Army or something like that.
That's from A-404.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the security outfit was all Cambos,
Yeah.
but the guys on the boats were all nuns.
Yeah. Yeah.
And didn't get along with the LLDV at all.
No, no, no. Well, you know, we only had the one Vietnamese at the camp. And
Well, at one time there was more.
yeah, but
They pulled them out because
yeah, we had that one guy. He was like a little go and get stuff, you know. But he disappeared.
yeah.
We went to Tong Toi. And you know, when we went out to a camp, our interpreters and the Americans, we stayed in the team house.
Right.
And the troops stayed on the other compound. Well, evidently he stole somebody's watch. And I don't know if you remember the platoon leader, Big Man. Big Man was the platoon leader with that group we had. We had Big Man and we had Mousy.
Yeah.
Big Man, they killed him. You know, but we don't know when or where or what happened. We just knew he disappeared.
Yeah.
And Big Man, you know, our troops was loyal and honest, and they couldn't tolerate a thief.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I know. I was thinking about. See, Trent had got wounded. I think I actually came into the camp as he was being medevac, and we had Gilbert Woods was there.
I'll tell you how Trent got wounded. He and we had taken 2 sections of airboats over to Treton, and we were running the boats around the bottom of the Seven Mountains area because 402 or 403 they were up in there. And so we were just supporting them. Well, Trent and I were coming back around and running the boats and jumping the dikes on the rice paddies. And he hit one that was too high and his boat stopped instantly. He was setting up on the back of the seat and he flew forward and face planted into the machine gun and knocked all his front teeth out and busted his mouth up. And I had to medevac him from there.
Yeah.
So we had 4 Americans there. And when things calmed down a little bit, I'd medevaced Trent, and I decided I was going to take 1 section of boats back to Kowloon. So I put Little Fee in the back boat on the radio just to tell me if anything gets screwed up, you know.
Yeah.
And we got into the Mekong River. I don't know how far it was, but we could make it on 1 tank of fuel. And it rained on us all the way down the Mekong River to Kowloon. We were so friggin' cold. I've never been so cold in my life.
Oh, yeah.
But we made it down there, all right?
Yeah.
That's the last I saw of Trent was when I put him on that helicopter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Larry, what was considered a section of airboats?
6.
6?
6.
That's it.
Yeah.
You went down to Nui Koto with 12 airboats,
Right.
and you just wandering around the rice paddies with your little.
Well, they had a ground operation going, but we were right. The water was right up to it, so we could get ahead of them and shoot in, kind of flank the Viet Cong, you know, where 403 was pushing forward. And I say 403. I don't know whether it's 403 or 40. Who was the other one there? 405.
402.
Yeah,
405
402, yeah.
Primarily in airborne training.
yeah.
Now, there's one Green Beret magazine with a great picture of an airboat going over a dike or something, flying in the air. A great picture. But when you're talking about 12 airboats on an operation, I would like to see some. If there's anybody who's got pictures of airboats in action, I'd like to see some because that sounds like a really interesting picture.
Yeah.
Whole bunch of airboats whizzing.
Yeah,
I do have one picture of, we were in the same area you were talking about, and we were receiving fire from the mountain there. And we're firing back with the 50 to them. We could reach them better than they could reach us. That's the only action shot that I have. I didn't have any. Usually you don't take pictures in action.
Well, they do have a thing out on YouTube with some airboats that was taken from a chopper, but it's more or less, it's just one section, and it's not any combat footage. They're just out running around, you know, in the right status.
yeah. Well, you know, we ran them with a hunter killer team a lot.
Yeah.
Hunter killer team is 2 Loaches, 2 guns, which are Cobras, and a CNC chopper, which is a Huey.
Yeah.
And then we were on the ground running. We run about 30 knots with the, you know, a load of ammunition and everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because the time that Tweety Stone got wounded, you know, that never should have happened because it was getting too close to dark. And I got caught out at overnight from BTT. I think it was Media and the SF camp that was way down on the French Canal near, you know, going towards the Cambodian border. We got redirected from BTT over there. Someone had got shot out of a chopper in the night division, and they were trying to recover the body. And they thought the airboat would be great to do that. Well, we had no problem getting there because we had a fact guiding us over. But it got dark coming back. And I'm gonna tell you, it is a weird feeling on an airboat at dark.
I can't imagine it.
And we had Jack Gossi was at BTT. And once we thought we got close to the river, we asked him to fire some illumination rounds, and then he fired the illumination. That's how we got on through, you know. But that, I tell you, it was very, very scary out there in the dark because you couldn't see nothing, and you know, everybody in the world knew you was coming.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
But I enjoyed my time in the airboat. But I did, you know, we operated out of either Muckwa, BTT, or Tongue Toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a time up at Tongue Toy that we took an operation up there, and the 401 out of Muckwa, they had brought them over, and they were running an operation which was just east of Tongue Toy a little bit.
Right.
And they got stranded. The flood had isolated them, and we ended up hauling them, the whole damn company, out in the airboats. We had only put about 3 in the airboat, and still get it to plane. So we ran out of time, and it got dark on us, and we're shipped 6-7 miles from Tongue Toy. And like you say, we're in the Mekong River, and it's dark. Can't see nothing. There's no moon.
Yeah.
And we did the same thing. We had them fire illumination. We were far enough away from them, we couldn't really see it. And it was just crazy getting back up there.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
We had a national police advisor. I don't know, you remember him? His name was Matt.
Yeah, there in Caroline.
Yeah.
He was from Birmingham.
Yep. He was running one of the boats, and he ended up in Cambodia because he went by Tongue Toy. It was a crazy operation.
Yeah. Tongue Toy was you know, you would think that would be an easy place to operate out of, but we found out, I guess, east of the Mekong, a couple of clicks, they had reinforced bunkers right across the border. And we think that they was getting that PSP from the revetments they had at there at Muckwa, where they were supposed to be bringing some first cav units down there. And they built all those revetments for the choppers. And that PSP was disappearing on a nightly basis. But we was on operation, and the guy that was flying the bird dog, was pointing this stuff out, and then they came under fire. But eventually, it got dry enough. They had a 106 on a Jeep there at Contoy. They took that 106 out there and started firing on those bunkers.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't operate the airboats at that time because the water was going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember when we'd run those boats when the water was going down, but the rice was still up here?
Right.
And it would be covered with ants.
Yeah.
And you'd run that boat and it's hitting the rice and just hit it.
Yeah, the grass seeds and the insects just used to tear you up.
I had a buddy that was in the Air Force that gave me a flight suit. And so I tape off the wrists and everything. It was a big set of coveralls.
Right.
And so I could kind of stand it. We took the commander on that LST that they had up in the Mekong River where they were running the PBRs off that thing.
Yeah,
I took the
Benoit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
had the commander of that LST was a lieutenant commander. I got him to go on that boat operation with him. He liked to get ate alive with them ants. It was funny. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
I got a good one. There used to be a helicopter pad out in the Mekong River, and I think their sea ponies were on it. And the Navy was there, and we would go out there, trade them whatever we found in caches for food and steaks. I've heard this story a lot, but we were doing it. So we would tie up to that thing, and get on there and mess around. Well, there's a lot of current in the Mekong River. One of the troops tied his airboat up too close to the upward stream of the LST, and that boat went down underneath there, broke the line, and went underneath that LST and came out the other side.
Yeah.
So that's when I knew that they did float somehow. I guess it was the fuel tanks or something kept them floating because that thing was popping up and going down the river.
Yeah. We should trade acetylene and welding rods for cases of steaks, lobster tails.
Yep. Yeah, the Navy ate real good, didn't they?
Oh, we ate real good when we got out there.
And the Navy guys was complaining about having the ground beef patties when we was, there at Binh. They complained about it. And we give them some of our troops rations, the dehydrated fish head and rice.
Yeah.
They ate it up. And we get lobster tails.
Yeah.
Hey, in Binh, wasn't there a little Navy?
Yeah, that was
right there, right beside the camp there.
Yeah, that was their forward operation base on the Binh.
Yeah,
and the CBs came in there and built that bunker complex in there.
And they put duffel bag sensors out all over the place, didn't they?
They had them all up and down the canal, and that's what they were doing.
We get called out a lot to set a bush up on the canal because the duffel bags were sensing something coming down the canal.
Yeah.
We only sprung one, but we didn't get anything.
Yeah, that was operating with those PBRs was something. I never forget, they had one guy, we started doing ambushes, trying to protect them. They had, it was 5-day papa. I never forget that call sign. This guy had shot up all of their ammunition. He was on the radio begging for somebody, for the black pony, the sea wolf, to bring them some ammunition. He was crying on the radio, And you know, you used to tell these guys, they put the starlight scope up to their eyes and they just keep it up there for 10 or 15 minutes, just sweeping. And you can't look through that thing continuously because things gonna start to jumping out there. They see something move, they open fire.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah,
You
they'll
know.
see it. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. But I met one of the guys here in the Raleigh area that was in that River Division 535. They have their big reunions, you know, every year. He asked me if I wanted to go, but I told him, no, you know, I had my time with him on the Vente. That's enough.
Yes. Yeah, that was strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Conley and I were on, we're working there. We were working off the PBR during the dry season, and he had just come to the team, and we got an alert that there was movement out there. So he and I took a machine gun and went forward to the PBR, and I had him pop illumination round, and you could just see it silhouetted up there.
Oh,
And
wow.
we pinned him down, and Blue was back where that bunker is, where the Navy had that command center, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We had a reaction force there, so I had Blue bring the reaction force down, and then we went ahead and hit him, and we killed 11 that night.
Wow, that's good. Yep.
But Conley and I, we had him bringing ammo and an extra barrel for the machine gun because I literally had it cherry red.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
keep him pinned down.
Yeah.
And a pair of gloves. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it was not unusual. I'll say at least once or twice a week, those PBRs getting blown out the water down there. You know, you'd be out in one area, you hear the big explosion. They just got because the guys on those boats, they didn't know about being stealthy. They'd be kicking buckets. You know, they do all this stuff.
They had their 20 mic. That's all they needed, right?
Yeah.
You know, they brought a bunch of heavies in, which were old LSTs.
Yeah.
LSTs, but LCMs.
Right.
And they made flamethrowers out of some of them.
Yeah.
And they all had standoffs so that when they got hit with the B-40 rockets, you know,
it
wouldn't penetrate. It just hit the screening. But it was quite a deal.
Yeah, because they had the Alpha boats and the Mike boats, and they had this, we call it a people sniffer. It was just an infrared detector. And they see an image, you know, heat source on the bank. They just open fire.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And that night we got caught out from BTT. We was in the river waiting for, we sent a couple of boats to get some fuel so we can refuel the boats and get back to BTT. And sure enough, you can hear the engine just, you know, a little rumble. And I got on the radio and contacted them, you know, hey, you got some friendlies out here, you know. And they, you know, they came up and they saw us, and, you know, one of them stopped for a few minutes. Then they kept on and went on down to, you know, past Markwall. But, you know, they would shoot at everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, Benji didn't have any Americans there.
Yeah, that we ducked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I tell you,
when I was there,
I got
just
along real good with Dawee Duck. Because I think one of the things that I did when I first went there, because I had asked, was it Todd? I had mentioned his name a minute ago. When I first got there, I asked him, you know, if we had, they had that 105 at Binh. And I asked him if we knew, you know, their pre-registered, you know, targets that they had, you know, in their camp defense. And, you know, none of our guys had coordinated with Dawee Duck. So what I did is I went in and I asked him for the coordinates of his pre-registered points, you know.
Yeah.
And one night we was out there east of Binh, across the river, I guess about 4 or 5 clicks down there, a big cemetery over there. And they had a trail that went into a little Cambodian village. It was near that same area where Amalong and Tom them got fired on from that Cambodian outpost. And they overran it. They stole, they confiscated a couple of pigs and some chickens and a Cambodian flag.
Yeah.
The Cambodian flag, we had a pig picking. But that was a tractor about 2 o'clock we didn't know what it was. It was just a light coming out of Cambodia. About 2 o'clock in the morning, down that trail. And we contacted A-411, that was the camp. Now we ducked, and they fired 1 round, and it right on target. The daylight, we went out there and looked. There was a guy with a tractor, and he was hauling a water buffalo back from Cambodia.
Oh, jeez.
You know, but it was during the hour nobody was supposed to be out there. We just saw this light, and we thought, hey, we got a damn, NVA truck coming across.
Yeah.
Had one little headlight, but now we ducked. He was something else.
When we put a section of airboats up there in '69, I sent Amalong up there. He was the only American, but he got along great with Diary Duck. I mean, they were just like that. So
yeah.
When I was up there, there was 2 of us, and then I forget who it was. I know Cork was there for a little bit, but then I was by myself there for probably, I don't know, 6-8 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
I'd been done.
Yeah. Well, the time I went there, we normally had 2. The first time I went there, it was me and Steve. We went there. And then when I went back, it was me and Tom. I think me and Tom went twice. And then one time we was there, we had, there was 3 of us there. And
that's a big crew.
Came up one time. We had 3 of us there. He came up just a couple of days.
Yeah. Nobody liked it there.
No.
It's hard to get anybody out there.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I found interesting at Binh, we go down to B-43 there and get briefed. All the intel you got was F6. It was like it wasn't to be believed. Our last big operation there, they had a chopper to get shot down. That went down to the cement plant to refuel, and it flew back up and was coming down the canal, and it got shot down. And this guy was describing a trail coming out from Cambodia, crossing the Vente, going into the tram. He said it was about, I'm not going to exaggerate, it was almost 200 meters wide because it was muddy, and they just kept moving over trying to stay in a dry area. But they had a bunker complex in that tram, and it was over about. It's hard to say how many people was killed because I'm quite sure they was counted 3 or 4 different times. They even brought B-55 down from the train, but they estimated that there was over 600 bodies that was in that complex, and they had 2 elements still across the border into Cambodia. But the intel on that was F6 because someone, and I think it was somebody from A-411, Diary Duck's group, had been in Cambodia, and they had came back with that intel, but when they reported it, just wasn't believed.
That area that you're talking about, there was one operation in there that we had initially made the first contact. It was a huge force, and they brought the the Mike Force out of Muckwa in there, and I think one of the units from Canto too. And it was probably one of the most successful operations that was run, but it's right there in that tram area you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
We killed literally hundreds of people in there.
yeah.
I mean, I wasn't involved.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, they had a huge bunker complex.
yeah.
And the thing was, I guess about 3 days before that operation, we was on our way back in, Tom and I, we had two PBR sections, had 4 boats, and our troops were spread out on them. And we came through this one little village. We hadn't paid no attention, but there was nobody in this village. And we got ambushed there on the Vente. And then once we got ambushed, we understood why nobody was in that village.
Yeah.
You know, because normally the kids be out playing and stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
And the only thing that made me mad, we couldn't get the Navy to assault the ambush. They just gunned the damn boats and getting on down the canal. And we were trying to tell them to turn into the bank. And when we finally got them into the bank, the Sea Wolf wouldn't take them under fire because they were too close to the Cambodian border.
Oh.
See, but I think that was a lead element that was sort of got surprised because they didn't think that those PBRs was going to have any troops on them. But we had our troops. And what I used to do, you know, we had all those M60 machine guns.
Mm-hmm.
When we started the dry season operation, say, there's no need of leaving all these machine guns there in the arms room. Let's take these things with us. We're going to be heavy fire teams. So we had a bunch of M60. Everybody was an ammo barrier. Everybody carried a lot of ammo, you know. And after a period of time, you know, after the first couple of times we went down there, you know, we had a hard time buying contact because the fire that we used to put out was, I mean, it was unbelievable. We got some fire from a Arvin unit. And they had this brother, this black guy that was an E7, and they had a major that was advising this unit. Now they knew where we were supposed to be on ambush, so you know, we all coordinated this stuff. We out in that graveyard, and we started receiving fire. And I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was Emerson or somebody. It might have been Blue. Say it's red. They're red traces. So, you know, red tracer will kill you just as quick as a green one.
Yeah.
So we opened up on these jokers. And then we started maneuvering on them. Come to find out, it was this Arvin unit. They ran off and they left their weapons and all kinds of stuff. And the guy had nerve to come down the next day, wanted to know if they could get their weapons back. I said, no, you got to go to Canton and get these. We turned this in, you know, as captured stuff because our troops get paid for everything we captured.
Yeah.
So we took the weapons, they had to go to Canton. But you know, it was just amazed me that these guys they didn't have the control of those units they was advising. You know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Look, while you're here, why don't you have a little short lesson plan on airboat tactics and organization? When was the wet season? When was it not? How did you operate?
Well, we Beach be good at that because he's the one who used to deploy us.
Yeah. We'll let him speak to that.
Well, the wet season was more in the summer, and it just started off slow. I'll give you an example. When I was at Kai, our chopper pad was 11 feet above the ground because that's how high the water would get during the wet season. And it would start off and it would just be raining a little bit every day, and then it rained harder every day until it was raining all day, every day. And then as you get ready, or the monsoon's ending, you get into the coming of the dry season, the rain just starts letting up a little bit more every day. And then when you get to the end of the monsoon season, you go about 6 months and you don't get any rain at all. And that's just the way it was.
Yeah.
And I learned a valuable lesson on airboat tactics. We hit a bunker down at Transhim one time, and I went straight at it. Bad mistake. And the guy standing right next to me got killed. He was a national policeman. We had him there to search sampans and stuff, you know. And don't go straight at a bunker. You go along and shoot this way. The speed is your only defense on an airboat. That and a 1/4 inch of fiberglass.
Yeah, that doesn't stop much.
No.
That doesn't stop anything.
No.
Yeah.
And you know, the thing is that those bunker complexes they had down there with that mud and little bamboo stuff, we fired on one of them with about 3 M60 machine guns. The thing was just smoking.
Yeah.
There was
Well,
5
this-
guys inside the bunker. Nobody had a scratch on them. It wouldn't penetrate that mud.
Yeah.
It was like
They
cement.
use banana logs and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah,
and the mud on top of it.
yeah,
We put 5 airstrikes on that bunker that day, and it took 5 airstrikes to finally defeat it.
yeah, yeah.
What did you do with the dry season?
That's when we were working with the Navy.
Yeah, that we do what we call the ground operation, the dry walking. You put that park
Yeah.
airboats, you get on feet.
Yeah,
Or get inserted by a chopper.
yeah.
You weren't, you weren't using the airboats except for
Training, just training in the canals.
Yeah,
But
and out in the big
it's-
home.
yeah, yeah.
And
Oh,
just
we've run them up
south
to,
of- Go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah, we've run them up to the LST and in the river, you know, to swap stuff for food and
Yeah.
everything. But,
Yeah,
Yep.
but other than that, during the dry season, we were just running ground operations with the Riverine Force.
yeah, and we had a Boston whaler we had converted into a
The ski boat.
ski behind. And I think they had twin engines on it, didn't it?
Yeah, it had 240 horse Johnsons.
Yeah, yeah. We had some
See, we had a,
Filipino tech reps that was unbelievable.
yeah, they build anything.
Yeah,
They were aircraft mechanics and fiberglass guys, and
yeah,
they could really build an airboat.
yeah,
It,
yeah.
Now,
Well,
just
it was
south of-
interesting.
It was great talking to everybody. And, you know, I'm glad that I stayed alive long enough for this event. Because, you know,
Yeah, me too.
I just think, you know, I subscribe to the SF taps and some other things. And then the drop, when I get my drop, you know, you started just, you know, recognizing our guys that's leaving year after year. You know, we're getting kind of thin.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fact.
Yeah.
Steve, thanks for putting this together.
Yeah,
Yep.
I appreciate it. Yeah. And
you should remember here.
yeah,
I wish
yeah.
we could get more people out there, but now, you know, it's too late to do that, things like that.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I started conducting meetings for our VFW poles on Zoom, and I thought our attendance will increase. Look here, we have less people when I was having on Zoom than we do it in person. I don't know what it is.
Yep.
But everybody take care and stay as safe as you can. And, you
Yep.
know,
Good
if you
talking
need
to you.
anything from me, just let me know.
All right. Good
I
to talk
live
to you.
About 47 miles from the flagpole.
I'm going to sign off too.
All right.
Now, time for happy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Take
Thank
care.
you. See you
Yeah.
guys.
Take care, guys.
Right? Looks like everybody's got it. I'm gonna close out the recording.
Okay.